you go, there's opportunity everywhere. I came to Perth. The last time I was in Perth was like 15 years ago, and I came here, I was like, wow. And I looked at the real estate market, look at business. There is so much opportunity in Perth. You guys are sleeping. I swear to God, there is like, my mind was blown. There is so much opportunity in Perth. I was like, I wasn't expecting it. I was thinking, I spoke to you. I'm like, but when I went online last night and this morning, I was like, I wish I can stay here longer so I can speak to some potential business partner. There's so much opportunity, but you gotta be looking for it. If you don't know what you're looking for, you won't see it. You just won't see it. I walked down here, not too far from our hotel, and I saw so many opportunities. Why was I able to see it? Because I've got the lens to be able to see it. If you do not have the lens to be able to see it, you can walk past $1 billion opportunity, you won't even know it was $1 billion opportunity. So improve that skills in you to be able to see opportunity. And the only way you can improve that is coming to events like this, talking to people, speaking to people that are different from the circle that you hang around with is very important. Teaching the family early, we talked about that previously, building strong business networks. I can't stress too much about this, but it's quite important, guys. Please don't get too caught up in your own personal world. It's important that you put yourself out there. It's extremely important. Just the right conversation with the right person can change your entire life. Rather than you doing the same thing over and over, I feel like going down on my knees and literally pleading to you guys. Doing the same thing over and over every day. Wake up in the morning, I go to my work, I do my job, stay there for 9 hours, I come back, repeat. Trust me, guys, there's a better way. It all starts with a conversation. I'll give you one example. I had one of my clients speaking to me. They spoke to the accountant, going through a divorce, actually. They've got 3 properties. He's in his late 50s. They've got 3 properties. They're unoccupied, and each of the properties worth $1 million. They call it $1 million each. The wife is keeping 1, and he's keeping 2, and giving her $500,000 on the other one. So then that way it works out to be 1.5. So his accountant advised him to sell the investment property and just settle the wife and basically use the rest to pay his debt. So let me just quickly give you guys this to understand that having the right conversation, it could be the difference between you making money or losing money. Now, these particular clients, he was so thankful, saying, Collins, I am so glad I actually spoke to you first before pulling the trigger, right? So let's paint this scenario here, right? 3 properties, right? We talked about 3 properties. Principal owner-occupied, which is the principal of residence, what's $1 million. $1 million, and investment property. And IN means investments, right? IN means investments. What's $1 million as well? IN $1 million, right? Now the male is going to keep this one. Male, female keeps this one, but she's going to keep this one fully cleared because this one is already fully cleared. It's like this, like about 20-something thousand each oil on it. So fully cleared, she's going to retain that. He's going to keep these 2, but give her 500,000. This one as well, there's only like about 200,000 oil on this. Very, very small amounts of oil on each of them. And this one, I think it was like about 170K oil on it too as well. Accountant said, sell this one, use the proceed, give her 500,000, and use the rest, put here, pay off your stuff. So that way, both of you kind of feel like you've walked away with one house each, fully cleared, $1 million. Fair enough, that's fine. I said, if you do that, you'll be worse off. There's something you haven't factored in here, which is capital gain tax. When you pay this one off, there is no capital gain tax because that's your principal place of residence, and you're not selling that one. So not selling that, but this one, because now he's transferred these 2 in his personal name. That property, when they bought it 15 years ago, they bought it for like about 200 and something thousand, but just to make it easy, call it 200,000. What's the capital gain on that? 800,000, right? But they don't pay full capital gain on 800, pay capital gain on 400,000 because 50% of that. So which they're gonna give the government 200,000. So if he's to sell that property, right, for $1 million, let's take away legal fees, estate fee, real estate agent fee. Less 100,000 goes on that. It's left with 900,000. From that 900,000 minus 200,000, which is currently being owned, right, it's left with 700,000, right? Everyone is with me? Now from that 700,000, he's still got to give 200,000 to the government from the capital gain tax. So minus 200,000 on that, you're left with 600,000. Now from the 600,000, it's left, he's gonna pay this off, then he's gonna be left with 400,000 on this particular scenario if he's to go with his accountant. Now what I recommended was, hey, don't do that. What we're gonna do, we're gonna do a cash out on this. We're gonna refinance this to the maximum we possibly can. We're gonna tap out equity on this up to 800,000, keeping it below 80%. So then that way it gives you a cash out of 600,000, but you still got your property. Now from that 600,000, you give your ex-wife 500,000, the 100,000 you can use it to pay this one down or leave it the way it is. Then wait 1 year. When you wait 1 year, sell this property because he doesn't want any debt anymore. He's almost in his 60s, right? Doesn't want any, I'm like, no problem. Wait, then what would happen after that situation? Once he sells his property, what do you think is going to happen? The ATO would basically go, well, you've got a debt of 800,000 on that investment property. You've paid 100,000 in real estate fees and things like that. What is his capital gain profit? 100,000. That's his capital gain profit. That means going from paying 200,000, he would have ended up paying only 25,000 in capital gain tax. Now that's the difference in knowing the right people and having the right conversation. From that 30 minutes conversation, I was able to save him 175,000.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. It is incredible. I was so excited for him. I was like, you bloody bastard, you better buy me something nice, right? So, but that's what it's all about. And now think about this from all different standpoints. Whatever you want to achieve, someone already has it. Look for that person. They'll shorten that process for you. I don't understand why people don't actually go to people and ask questions. Oh, I want to be an architect. Go speak to an architect. Or I want to own an architectural firm. Go speak to someone that already owns it. Nothing may come out of it, but you'll be surprised. They might shorten the process. They might be able to give you some certain loops around. So you got to start thinking about whatever you want, whatever you need. Someone already been there, done that. Go speak to them and see how well they can shorten that process. Now, guys, when you see success, this is what success looks like in most cases. Once, as I said, by the grace of God, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, you guys, this is how people will see you successful. But this they won't see. The sleepless nights, the sacrifices you guys made, eating healthy, staying healthy, saying no to places that you shouldn't go to, growth mindset, investing in networking events. People won't see all the sacrifices you make, but obviously they'll only see the iceberg at the top of it. So that's what basically success looks like. Now, cultivating a successful mindset, we've given so many examples in regards to how you can basically start shifting, but understand this. If you don't have these attributes, you can never be successful. Most wealthy people, look at them, I can guarantee they all have this. You see someone with a negative mindset, all they can focus on is the negative sides of everything. Listen, investing is risky. I'm not saying it's not risky. It is definitely risky, but either way, you got to do it. Life is a risk. Stepping out of your home this morning is risky. You could have been hit by a bus. Don't leave your home. It's scary out there. Just joking. But you got to be optimistic. You got to have a growth-orientated mindset. You got to be you got to be resilient as well. You got to be persistent too as well, because growth success doesn't happen overnight. Now, I love this particular statement. I would like you guys to just have a read on this one and tell me what you think about this. Things you have creates wealth, income producing assets. The reason broke people are broke is because they're only income producing assets. I want you guys to read this and really absorb this. The reason why broke people are broke is because they're only income producing assets. You guys understand what that means? The reason rich people are rich is because accumulating income producing assets. Income follows assets. You're an asset, but you're only leveraging it on you. You gotta give birth to other babies. I'm not saying literally babies, but other assets. So the burden is not just only on you. Income follows asset. This building is an asset. We're paying to be here. It's giving birth to money for the owners while the owners are not here. But if you are the only asset, you have to forever keep going out to go work for that money to keep coming in when you could have little babies all around there. So understand this. If you do not learn to create passive income, now I want to say this from a very loving state. If you do not learn to create passive income, you are forever condemned to work for the rest of your life. Understand that. That's your only way out. Passive income could be a form of business, it could be a form of assets, whatever, but you need to be able to create something that operates outside of you for you to be free. Now, you might be saying, oh, you know what, this doesn't concern me. I earn six figures, I earn 300,000, 400,000. Great. Happy for you. But there's something you haven't taken into consideration, which is inevitable. Change. The position you hold today, the status you hold today, the job title you hold today may not be relevant tomorrow. Change is guaranteed. So once we all start understanding that change is inevitable, I could become obsolete tomorrow, then you understand the urgency to what I'm saying to you, that you need to start creating passive income outside you. Even prime ministers become irrelevant over time to as well. The most important figure in the country, after their tenure, they become irrelevant. Nobody even knows them. Who was the last 20 years prime minister? Can someone just say the name of the last 20 years prime minister quickly? Oh, we can't remember. All right, cool. There you go. Irrelevance. Nobody cares, right? So that's the point I'm making to as well, right? Please, this is very important. I know I'm joking about it, but it is so important. I see it happen all the time. We think we're invisible. It's never going to happen to us. But for some reason, it always seems to happen to us. All right. These are successful mindset tools that you basically need to be successful. Set clear goals. It sounds so simple, so basic, so straightforward, but it's not that so simple. Set clear goals, positive self-talk. I love that positive self-talk. By the raise of hand, who basically talks positivity to themselves? And how can someone say, how often do you do it?
Every day.
Every day?
I did practice that.
Yes.
I didn't wake up.
Yes.
To be positive to myself.
Yes.
Instead of in the mirror.
Yes.
Every day. And then just become automatic.
I love you already. I do the same thing. It's my daily ritual. I wake. You see me in the morning, you think I'm crazy. You think I'm possessed. I look at myself in the mirror, Collins, you're amazing, you're wonderful. Thank you so much for today. Today's going to be great. Thanks for the heartbeats. Thank you for the blood that runs around my vein. When was the last time we actually said, thank you for the heartbeats? Thank you for the blood that runs around. Things just happens in your life. You don't even think about it. Just like the air you're breathing freely. You don't understand that the air you're breathing freely without you even having to think about, you can actually attract money to yourself freely that same way. Once you know and learn how to harness those type of powers to as well. So it's positive self-talk, guys. You don't need to wait for anyone to say you're amazing. Say to yourself, I'm amazing. It's so important. There's even a study that says that, when you speak positive talk to plants, they grow better. The power of positivity is amazing. Take two kids, for example. One born in a oh yes, this is a good example. One born in a poor home and one born in a wealthy home. The one in a poor home, the parents will have conversation like, oh, don't complain. You should be grateful that you have one meal to eat. You should just be quiet. Just be happy that you were able to lay your head on, you had somewhere to sleep. Just, bare minimum, bare minimum, bare minimum. That's what that kid is accustomed to. And they'll grow up their life thinking they're average because that's what they know. And they would end up becoming average statistic. The other child born in a wealthy home, the parents will say towards things like, the world is your oyster. You can achieve anything you want in life. All you need to do is speak it and it's yours. What do you think that child is going to grow up to be? That child will probably grow up to become your leader because he truly do believe that he owns the world. Positive self-talk starts from a very low grassroots. What you say to yourself is so important in closed doors. What you say in public spaces is bullshit. It doesn't matter. It's what you say to yourself in closed doors. In that time with yourself, we spend time with this brain of ours 24/7. That conversation going up here is more important than the words coming out from your mouths. Super important. Learn from failures. Understand you can never achieve true success without failures. Some of the failures I have, I will never wish it on my own enemies. Some of the failures I have.
Give us one example.
One example, well, I can give you multiple examples. Multiple. Let's give you one that really stands out. I had my first child when I was in university at the age of 20, and I got married. I did a lot of things that I wasn't proud of back then. And two, I invested in so much stuff that I basically sold our family home into a particular investment and lost. I'm talking about, how long ago am I? How old is my age? I'm talking about 18 years ago. I lost 300,000. Sold the family home. Ex-wife didn't know about it. Lost my family during all this process. Lost everything. That's just one mistake. I've had other mistakes, multiple other mistakes where I've invested, but I'm not going to talk about personal one. Let's talk about other mistakes where I've invested. Let's say I invested into a multi-building off the plan, put in a deposit, 10% deposit, $1 million acquisition, 10% deposit, 100,000. Couldn't settle on it 2 years later. Lost the 100,000. I've invested in a startup business which I thought was going to be great. I took out money. Do you guys remember when we were able to take out money from our super? When there was, I think, during COVID, I took out 10,000 and another 10,000, 20,000. I took that money, I went to go invest, lost everything. In less than 2 months, I lost it. It's very quick. But this is just quick investment. And to be honest, those are minor stuff. There's other personal stuff that I've lost, which I'm not going to go into. But understand, from all those losses that I made, God, I won't have it any other way. Because what I learned from those stuff, you can never learn the lessons without you going through that process. You must go through the process. So understand that. So surround yourself with positivity. Time is ticking, I can see. Give me the nudge. Surround yourself with positivity. I wanted to quickly share something with you guys saying, do you know there's a particular study that was done, which is called the bad apple effect? This study was done in 2006. You can look it up. It's called the bad apple effect, where they've got a group of 5. And in that group, they've separated that group and they put a negative person randomly in one of the group. Do you know the group where they put the negative person, 40% of their work was horrible, 25% of their work was, quality of their work was crap, 50% disagreements within that group, and they couldn't get into a level of understanding. And the funny thing about this particular study, this study went for like about 60 minutes at a time. Now, why am I saying this? Most of you have negative people in your life for your entire life. Now, let that sink in. Do you know what sort of mental damage they're doing to you? Your environment is so important, guys. Understand your environment. You can literally take an average person. You can take an average person like myself. Why I say myself? I barely made it out of university. And I'm saying this to you guys because please don't think I'm a very intelligent person. I am not. I'm just quite persistent. I'm just naturally stubborn, which is a trait most last born gets. Quite naturally stubborn. When I place my mind on something, only if God comes down, that's the only thing that can avoid me from, achieving that. But I literally barely passed uni. If there was pass mark in your university degree, it would be horrible for me. Scrape through. But understand this: when you take an average person and place them in the right environment, they will do extremely well. Take a genius, put them in the wrong environment, they'll become rubbish. Your environment is critical. If you surround yourself with bums, you hear the saying that, if you hang around 5 broke people, you might be the next broke one. It's a lie. There are 6 broke people. Get that?
Yeah.
It's not 5. You're 6. It's not you might. You are broke. It's that simple. Your environment is as important. I said to a guy, he said to me, and again, this is a true life event. He said to me, Collins, one of my mentees said, Collins, my area, I'm not going to say the area, it's the area in Sydney. He said, my area, oh man, every night there's gunshots. I don't like the area. I said, but the house is affordable. I said, have you considered moving out of the area? Have you considered moving to a nicer area? He said, yeah, I've looked at it, but the rent is like 2 times the value. I said, it's not really about the rent. It's about the environment, the connection you're going to get in that area, the people you're potentially going to meet, the opportunity, the doors that environment could potentially open for you too as well. Because if you stay in this particular area for too long, before you would know it, you will start getting drawn into the wrong environment, into the wrong people too as well, into the wrong crowd. And guess what? He took my advice. He was working at a job where he was getting paid 65, below 70,000. I can't remember exactly. Definitely below 70,000. He moved to an area called North Sydney, more closer towards the Milsons Point. I don't know if you guys know where the Luna Park is. Really nice area. Let's just assume he was paying $600 a week where he was previously staying, and in a new place, he was paying $1,200 a week. Smaller. He was living in a house. Now he's living in an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, less than 60 square meters. But in that same area, he was introduced to someone that gave him a job, and now he's earning $140,000 a year within a space of 12 months. That change happened from that area. Right? So please don't understand. Yeah, it may not happen for everyone the same way, but your environment does go a long way. I'm being told to speed up things quickly. Guys, this one, asset protection. We talked about asset protection. We talked about having things in the right assets. Now, most people knows this: when you're buying anything, it's either going to be in individual ownership, company ownership, trust structure, or self-managed super fund. Most people stop here. Some people, they end up dabbling into this. Some people get into this. Some people probably get into this. Do anyone know how many trust structure is out there in Australia, roughly? Guess how many trust structure? 6. Anyone else?
I just
Thought about 8 or 10.
8 or 10. We're all wrong. How many have we got? We've got 15 to 18 trusts. Now, most people would know these ones. You've got the discretionary trust, unit trust, hybrid trust. By the way, discretionary unit trust is the combination of these two, making it a hybrid trust. You've got fixed trust, you've got charitable trust, testamentary trust. This is my favorite. Do anyone know what a testamentary trust is? This one only kicks in when you're dead. I love this one. This is basically when you die, you basically control all your assets in your grave. You basically tell your beneficiaries what will happen and what they can and cannot do. testamentary trust. I love it. Every rich person has this. You know, my kids said to me, "Daddy, you're so controlling." I laughed. I said, "I'm not controlling. When I'm dead, you know I'm really controlling." You don't know what's coming, right? Then you've got corporate trust and you've got bare trust, right? Now, unfortunately, most people will probably stop at this one. Discretionary trust is quite common. And, you know, self-managed super fund trust one, which is also the bare trust because you create a bare trust within the self-managed super fund itself. But this is what the trust is meant to do for you. Asset protection from creditors, it minimize estate disputes and probate concerns and potential tax advantages. This is what trusts are meant to do for you. Now, I'm saying this, I'm not saying, you know, everyone should go out there and get trust. Trust is not for everyone. There's quite a substantial amount of financial burden that's required for you to be able to maintain a trust. It could cost anywhere from around $2,000 a year just to maintain a trust itself. And depending on what sort of trust it is to install, it could be even more than $2,000. Now, please do understand the reason why we've got this image, understand that, you know, just the right person by your side could be a massive world of change for you. Trying to do it all on your own can be overwhelming, but with mentor, you can gain wisdom